Hello, America. This is Pantywars, and I just couldn't resist but to make a little bit more freeform poetry. It's just my passion. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. When I wake up in the morning, thinking about her, my mind raging like my heart on, I stand up, my full-on pork billiard cue sticking through my shorts like it's a fucking hard penis. Get up, go to the kitchen. I want to make cereal, but all I can think is vagina, vagina. So I grab the pops, but all I can think of is vaginas. I pour the bowl, vaginas. Then I put milk on my vaginas. They stay crunchy for most of the time, but eventually my vaginas get soggy and wet. I eat them anyway because Pantywars doesn't waste a good vagina. I had to get up for work, my hard-on still protruding through my pants. Got in the shower after eating my breakfast. The hard-on still shoving through my pants as I bathed my legs. Bathing in jeans can become difficult, just like sleeping in them. But eventually, as I have done, you get used to the concept of scrubbing so hard that it goes through the jeans directly onto your massive folding hard-on. I bathed for what must have been hours, my dick still erect, standing tall like a statue of freedom, right connected to the betweenness of my legs. When I finally got out of the shower, my hair bathed, my pants soaked, I put on a different pair of pants, protruded to brush my teeth. And yet all I could think of when I was brushing my teeth with a sweet toothbrush and minty toothpaste going between each and every gum, cleaning out every single surface, every pore, was the massive hard-on, still standing tall. I thought to myself, I've got to get rid of this. But I kept it nonetheless, because it just gets me excited to go to work with the hard-on. I got in the car, put in the ignition, considered leaving, but then I thought to myself, today's Martin Luther King Day. I don't have to work, because I work at a black kids' day camp, and they're closed on Martin Luther King Day. So, my heart held high, like my dick. I decided instead to go to Hardee's to get a nice lunch. Turned out that my shower took 2.5 hours. I drive to Hardee's, my massive penis just extremely large, often shoving into a steering wheel, making left turns extremely difficult. But I managed to get there nonetheless. Finally, I walked up to the cashier with all my strength and tried not to chuckle as I asked for an extra large thick burger. She said they were out of thick burgers, so I concluded that I would have to go to Sonic instead. So I went to Sonic and tried not to chuckle as I asked for a foot-long coney. The manager at Sonic said, "Dude, bro, it's like a penis." And I was like, "Yes, it is like a penis." He asked if I want any sides of my foot-long coney, and I just said, "I want a side of America," on top of a flaming John Stamos roll. He said they didn't have John Stamos rolls, and I figured that was a little bit barbaric and old-fashioned. But nonetheless, I got my foot-long coney. The manager came out with my meal, because the cashier is just a dumb piece of shit. He came across and handed me my foot-long coney. Just as I was about to tip him, he said, "Stop. I've already been tipped." I looked at him questionably, then smirked as he looked down at my completely horseradish-ridden boner. Standing hardcore, shoving up against the turn signal, confusing customers, making them think I was trying to turn right into the window. But that was okay, because I didn't have to pay that tip, which is good because I didn't have any cash. All I had was my freedom cash, my balls. My lunch was delicious. I decided to move on. Maybe go see an adult movie. So I went to see Click. I said to myself, this sounds good, a man who can pause time. Plenty of boobies in this. If I were to pause time, I would be grabbing so many boobies that my balls would be flaring. They'd have to change the term from blue balls to holy shit, dude, what the fuck. I got into Click and realized there's nothing sexy about Adam Sandler. So I left the film just as I had entered it, ridiculously hard, with a massive desire to squeeze as many frozen boobies as I could possibly find. So what does one man do when he wants to squeeze a massive amount of frozen boobs? He goes to Mr. Freeze's hideout, squeezes every one of his female hench women, and that's exactly what I did. I went and I discovered that Mr. Freeze wasn't Mr. Freeze at all. He was just the local guy who owned the ice cream stand. So then I realized when the 32 flavors weren't all boobies, it was time for me to leave the Baskin Robbins. I went to Shoney's instead, then walked out because fuck that. Fuck Shoney's. Fucking bullshit. Finally, it was time for me to head home. I'd had a massively erect Martin Luther King Day. Just thinking about all the things he did for the African American community kept me struggling hard throughout the afternoon, and frankly, my balls were developing a white guilt that was massively insane. So I decided to go home and said, that's it, I just need to relieve my aching, trembling testiculars from this awful pain they've been feeling throughout the afternoon. I sat down on my couch, fluffy, white, beautiful, almost a prediction of the things to come in the near future. I sat down and put one hand on the remote control, the other hand on the shaft. You can imagine which hand I used. The right top one. My other two hands were softly positioned on both of my testicles. I turned on demand and, well, let's just say I've seen every single episode of Cow U. I was spent, majestically spent. Some call it a money shot, but my friends, that was a bank robbery. Finally, I leaned back, closed my eyes, and with a beautiful image of Rosa Parks sucking off a dolphin, I fell